Hey everyone, this is Editing Marissa here from the future. I did want to mention that I am creating a free webinar under my company, Free Black Women Virtual Solutions, that helps Black women start and grow online businesses. I am putting together webinars, so if you have an innovative idea that can be done online and you want to start a business, be sure to add your name and email to the mailing list so that you'll be notified when that webinar is scheduled and available to be registered for. Yeah, so be sure to add your name and email to the list, which is linked in the description. Thank you. On with the video. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Now, I wanted to talk about something that has really been coming up for me as I have reflected on my past experiences in the workplace and listened to other Black women share their experiences. And that is Black women were often punished for innovating in the workplace, especially in the United States and other Western countries. If we have an idea to innovate and we propose that idea, we're viewed as even more of a threat than we already are. And it makes our lives oftentimes even more difficult. Putting forth new ideas to move the company forward, to move staff forward, to serve staff, really to make things better. A lot of the suggestions that we have that intention, right? To really make the workplace better, safer, more equitable for the people who work there and the people who are being served by the organization. And unfortunately, those suggestions are often not received very well. And, I have a lot of thoughts about why this is, but just to cut to the chase, it's because we're told to stay in our place. People want us to stay in our place. And as Black women, when we're thinking in terms of a binary, right? A gender binary, we have the least social power. Not to say we aren't powerful, but in the context of systems of oppression, we are oppressed, right? We experience sexism, we experience misogyny. We are Black women, we experience anti-Blackness. If you are LGBTQ+, you experience homophobia, transphobia, classism, ableism. The list goes on and on. So we come in with these identities, and it often gives us, the ability to imagine the possibilities and put those forward and really give suggestions to improve how things are done, improve processes. We can see the gaps because our perspective in society gives us a very unique point of view. And we are able to see the gaps, right? Which is why we're hired a lot of the times, because we're able to see the gaps and provide these very innovative solutions to problems. But there becomes a turning point, and I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. If you can, let me know in the comments, please. I would love to read them. There comes a turning point when maybe you've made one suggestion too many in the eyes of someone who is extremely insecure in the workplace. Maybe you've put forward a really brilliant idea that they could never in a million years come up with. And once that switch happens, your ideas are no longer wanted. They are no longer valued. You are no longer valued. You are discarded. And it's not due to the fact that anything changed with what you were doing. Because you've been the same all along, right? You've been brilliant. You've been putting forward new ideas. You've been innovative. A lot of these workplaces really don't want you to be innovative. And that's kind of like the mind trick, right? That's kind of the bait and switch, especially if we're talking about roles that are centered on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which Black women are often in. I myself was in a role like this. It's the bait and switch of being told, you have the power to lead this. We're ready for these changes. We're ready for your recommendations. And so you trust them, right? You trust them at their word until it turns. And there's always that shift. And if you haven't experienced this, I would also love to know that, because I have seen this pattern play out many times. There's a shift that happens when you begin to be viewed as a threat, right? And we know the phenomenon from pet to threat, coined by 3 Black women professors, which I'll list in the description, is real. So that being taken into account, we're not even being valued for being fully human because we're brought in as the pet. And that switch happens. We make one too many suggestions in this person's eyes, those people's eyes. It's not in reality, right? Because in reality, we're just suggesting things that can be improved, that we see are very glaring. So none of that is actually anything that we're doing, and I want to always emphasize that. But in the eyes of someone who is insecure, in the eyes of someone who wants to keep you in your place at the bottom of the social hierarchy, you're doing too much now. Now I got to remind you who you are and what you are. Now I got to remind you who you descend from. Okay. And it's interesting to see things like this now in the US with the Supreme Court's decision of eliminating affirmative action. All of these things that we've known and felt for years. And people have gaslighted us and said, there's really nothing happening here. It's all in your head. This is a diverse organization. This is an organization that prioritizes racial equity. Now we see what's happening around us. And we see the behaviors that were kind of undercover. We see them coming to the surface. And that just goes to prove that all the times that we've tried to innovate, that we've tried to put new ideas forward, and it was good up until a certain point. Up until a certain point, and then things shifted. And that shift can be very devastating. I don't think we talk about that enough, how devastating that shift is when you go from feeling like you're valued, even though you may be being viewed as a pet, right? To you, you're being valued. They're telling you your perspective is valued. What you're contributing is so important. And then that shift happens and you're like, did I do something? Because I've been doing the same thing that I've been doing all along. No, someone was offended by your brilliance. It has nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. And I don't want us to take that blame on ourselves, because that blame can also be devastating. That blame can shatter our confidence for years. For years. All because someone was mad that they didn't have the innovative idea that we had. And it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because, especially, I can only speak from being from the US because that is the country I'm from. But Innovation really is not wanted, especially not from Black women. Folks work tirelessly to keep the social order, the order of everything, the structure of everything, the exact same way that it is, and even rolling it back decades, centuries, as we're seeing now. Let's roll it all the way back to the late 1800s. So know that if you were experiencing that shift and you're kind of in a daze, because I know that I went through this, like, what is happening? Did I say something? Did I do something? Know that all you did was be amazing. All you did was be brilliant. And people are mad at that. People are mad. And the solution to that is to leave that job. You don't have to do it immediately. And I want to share this, and this is something that I've also had to learn over the past year or so. You can apply to other jobs while you're still working at your current job. And that sounds so simple, and I'm sure a lot of y'all already know that, but I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. I felt so guilty at the prospect of even applying for another job while I was at this one. Like, why am I attached to something that just all it is an income source? That's it. So I'm making this video, wrapping it up, just to let you know that I value your innovation. Your innovation is needed to move the world forward. The ideas that were placed into you and that flow to you and that you generate, they're needed. That's why, you have them. They're there for a reason. And if the organization you're at is not valuing them, you can leave organizations. You can go to a different organization. You can create your own thing outside of your job. They're not the end all be all. They're not the ultimate say. They don't have ultimate say. They're not the ultimate source of anything. Your innovation is valuable. Your innovation is needed. And even if they don't value it, you can value it yourself. You have the power to do that. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see what could have been, what could be, right? Thinking about the systems of oppression that exist and how many innovative ideas that were never brought to light, and how much farther we would be as a society, as a people, collectively, if those systems of oppression didn't exist. It's heartbreaking to know that those ideas die with people so often. And so if you have an innovative idea, go for it. And it doesn't have to be in the organization. I always want to emphasize that. That organization is but one of millions. That country that doesn't value you is but one of hundreds. The world is large. You have options, you have choices. And I value your innovation. Your innovation is needed. Even if it's not at the organization you're at. Just wanted to give you that message. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like it, leave a comment, share it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.